Falcon fans, Falcon fans, Falcon fans, and of course, good old Falcon fans. And wait, John from Out of Your Falcon Mind.
What's up?
You know what's going down in the major way. What's up, everybody on the channel? One time for the fan, episode 236, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and so much more. Big shout out to everybody that's in the chat, those that's listening, those that's watching. John from Out of Your Falcon Mind is here tonight talking some Falcons football with us. John, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. It's about time. It's long overdue. It's been a while. How you good people doing? Carrie, what's going on? It's the first time we've been on the same, bringing in since our 100th show.
I know, it's been a long time. Good to see you.
I know, y'all too. T-Will, man, what's going on?
What's going on, John? Good to see you. Good to have you on here.
Yeah, man. Good. We're counting down the days, man. Mike will be back September 4th, our September 4th show going into the Steelers game. So he'll be back. Perfect timing. Okay. So we'll be doing our midweek shows. We had to move it to Wednesday. So it's going to be Wednesdays before you guys. So it'll be at 7 because, Liam's baseball schedule is kicking back up again, which is on Thursdays now, which is our normal night. So just got to move it to Wednesdays. But, so they'll have plenty of – if it's too early for people, they can catch y'all, then watch us tomorrow. However it works out,
John from Out of Your Falcon Mind, one half of Out of Your Falcon Mind. Mike is busy right now. I know he's taking care of some things, but when you guys get together, it's a jam pack. It's a fun filled show. So let everybody know, where can they find you on social media? Your Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I know a lot of things you guys do over there on your channel. What's up?
Not to cut you off, but we have to extend some grace to one of our fans. Deshaun just ironed me, and his mother just passed.
Oh, wow.
Definitely.
Deshaun Coswell.
Yes.
Wow.
Extend some condolences to him. Lost my mom in May. I know what that's like. And hey, brother, praying for you, sending you all the love and support. And that impacts me. So my heart goes out to you. And I didn't mean
no. That's everything. Thoughts and prayers go out to Deshaun and his family too as well. No, he was also dealing with another situation earlier this year that we kept checking on him too as well. But Deshaun, man, I'm sad to hear it, man. I'm just definitely pulling for you, man. Be strong in that situation, Terry. We talked about it earlier this year. With you too as well, man. Like my heart goes out to you guys for that. So. Man, big shout out to Deshaun. He's a big fan of our podcast, but he's also a good friend too as well. So I appreciate that, Terry. I do. I definitely appreciate that. Yeah. John.
Yeah.
Real quick. If you could just let everybody know, where can we find you on social media before we go ahead and get started talking some Falcons football. So.
Yeah, man. Well, you can follow us on X at Out of Your Effing Mind. And then, of course, you're on YouTube, Out of Your Falcon Mind. I think we're just Out of Your Falcon Mind on Instagram and TikTok, which, again, Mike's took some time off. He handles both of those platforms because he does a much better job of that than I do. So he'll be back on that probably in another, 3 or 4 weeks as well. But that's it. Yeah, there you go. Out of Your Falcon Mind. So
hey, look, Falcon fans, right there, you see it on the screen. Make sure you hit that like, make sure you hit that share, subscribe over at Out of Your Falcon Mind. Great content. You guys talk Falcons football all the time, and of course, this season has a lot of fans talking. A lot of fans are excited, so we'll go ahead and get to that here shortly. Miss Carrie, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm great. A day closer to Falcons football, and I'm so happy and thankful to be here right now.
Hey, this is great to have Miss Carrie on the podcast because a lot of fans do see you in the chat from time to time. And, of course, you're always repping One Time for the Fan on social media. But fans do not know what you do behind the scenes with One Time for the Fan. Like, you are a big part of, helping produce the show here at One Time for the Fan. So we want to say thank you, Miss Carrie. Definitely want to say thank you for that. How's Manchester City looking before we start getting underway here shortly? I know you're excited for that season, too, as well. Premier League.
Yeah. Season started last week, trying to do a 5-peat. Gundogan officially, supposedly, is going to be announced tomorrow. Mm-hmm. He's coming back from Barcelona, so I'm super excited. But, yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Falcons football. It's a good time.
Falcons football is definitely heating up, Falcon fans. We had 2 preseason games already against the Dolphins, which we lost that game, and against the Ravens, we lost that one Saturday too as well. Thanks, Koo. But Friday, huh?
Real quick, can I just say that was my first ever time seeing the Falcons lose? But I'm not gonna lie, I left the game with 7 or 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I'm like, okay, if I leave early, it doesn't count, right?
The Falcons-Dolphins game, right? When you went down there.
Yes.
But don't forget, I think your record. 2-0, 3-0 when the Falcons when you're at a
5-0. I've only been to 5 Falcons games. This was my 6th, and yeah, it was.
But this is
preseason,
loss. So let's
it's
just say you're
preseason,
still
right?
undefeated.
We're not
This is
gonna
why
count it.
It does not count.
You get them
I'm gonna be there for the season opener, and that one we're gonna win. So
there we go. Exactly.
Carrie's in the building, Falcon fans. You know we're gonna win. She's undefeated. Don't forget, Carrie, the One Time for the Fan Instagram page. I know you got some great seats where you're gonna be for that game, so people be able to follow that channel and get a chance to see the behind the scenes of what the Falcon fans have going on in the stadium. It's gonna be great. So as we get closer to that day, we will let fans know where you guys can check all that content. T. Will from One Time for the Fan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir? I see. What is that? Is that the 2019 season in the background? 2021 season? What is that you're playing back there?
The entire Matt Ryan reel.
The Matt Ryan reel.
Entire Matthew Ryan.
This guy is something else.
From the first, touchdown in the first game on the first pass he ever threw to whatever the last one was. But yes, it is his reel. And
that's an hour and a half of greatness right there.
Hey, man, definitely. Glad to be here, Jack. I can be reached. I can see it. One Time for the Fan here, or I can be reached at For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. Either way, we're going to try and have a good time, enjoy ourselves, and talk about some Falcons football and ATL sports, whichever you prefer. Jack, we got a lot of stuff to get into, man. So
we do, but before we get to it, Terry, can you let us know the traffic on 285 and I-20? I know you have the monitors up behind you. Can you just check on the traffic before?
Give me 1 second. Hey, Chopper Dave.
Chopper Dave.
Yeah. So we just added him. We just added him to the staff. Chopper Dave, how you doing? Yeah. Okay. All right. So 75 sucks. Yeah. Okay.
On a Wednesday at 8:15, 75 still has traffic jam. 85 too.
285 sucks. Yep. 400 really sucks. Okay. DH, and you know what I'm saying. And I-20.
Hopefully, no whistle blowing tonight here. We haven't blown the whistle in a while. I know you said DH. You don't want to say the actual the words, but I got you, Terry. I'm with you. Falcons just tweeted the Crash Out Crew, so they're buying into the new nickname. Remember D-Block, John, back in the day?
Oh yeah.
Now they have. I guess they've claimed the defense to be the Crash Out Crew. Thoughts on that as we go around the panel here, Terry? Crash Out Crew.
Hey man, whatever gets them going. I'm good for it. I'm happy, guys. We got a pass rusher. We have 2 safeties that are ball hawking maniacs. We got a defensive line, the interior that is second to none. We got some young and up and comers on the exterior. We got linebackers. In short, we have a defensive unit that should be top 10. They can call themselves whatever they want, in my opinion. Carrie, how you feeling about it?
I'm feeling great. I saw the picture that Jack's talking about earlier, and I was just thinking, wow, like I'm so happy with how the defense is shaping up with the new signings and obviously Jesse Bates last season. Yeah, I like that picture, and I'm super excited.
Big shout out to MW, the franchise player, checking in from Germany. Big
That's
shout out
awesome.
to MW. John, the Crash Out Crew. I remember D-Block from back in the day, and fans were hype about that. Plus, the defense did play up to that D-Block type of level. What's going on with the Crash Out Crew now?
I don't know, man. Maybe they figure they're going to like hurt some people this year. I don't know. I mean, like, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I heard last week somebody said, I think it was in Big Low's chat. They said Red Alert defense was another thing that somebody was throwing around. I'm with T-Will. Whatever, man. Whatever gets y'all ready to go and smash from quarterbacks. Hey, let's go. I'm down.
I seen a couple players post that last week. I think Glowman had posted that. D. Alford. I know since Justin Simmons has been there the past couple of days, I know they posted that too as well. AJ Terrell, some other people. But the Crash Out Crew, Falcons fans. So I guess they might be putting the shirts out soon. You already know marketing's already on it. Crash Out Crew defense. Yeah. Okay. You already see the pictures. I mean, they already got Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates. It's like it's a damn mural out there outside the bend. It's like, what is going on here? Justin Simmons just got here. Everybody's just so hype on Simmons. Richie Grant sitting back like, bro, that could have been me. It could have been me.
Could have been. Yeah. I'm
Come on, Falcon fans. We're all here having a good time.
No, you're getting a penalty for that, Jack.
Oh my gosh. But he's a big part of this too as well. I think fans are forgetting that. And now here's the good part. There's going to be so many people keyed in on Justin and Jesse Bates that when Richie is in the game, now Richie can probably be Richie. right? You're going to be so focused on AJ and Grady and this crash out crew. You're forgetting about a guy who's been there for the past couple of years that, hey, man, I'm playing for a check too, right? This is Richie's contract season.
Literally.
This is it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So either he's in or he's out going forward, and Raheem's here for the next couple of years. We could have got rid of him when Raheem first got here. He said, "Nah, we keeping Richie." So let's just see what they have to go. I mean, what did Richie say to us at practice? Terry, 10 of them. What we say, 10 of them?
No. Eric Parker said 10 of them. Richie said 8. But
Richie said 8.
Richie said 8. But to that point, so I've seen in some articles where they really seem like they want to keep Richie. Like I've seen, because they've basically the question was posed, hey, essentially, Simmons and Bates do a lot of the same things. How are you going to use them? And the response, and again, my memory is terrible, so I'm paraphrasing, but the response was, I would love to see the combinations and how we could get them in together. And it led some folks to believe, well, could we see formations where we have all 3 of them, right? But that to me says they're not ready. They're kind of high on Richie. They're not, you know what I mean? Because if that was the case, you would come out and just say Richie's the number 2. For you to even allude to that says you, number one, see Richie as an asset, and you have plans for him. So I'd like to know, what do you guys think about a 3 safety look? How do you think that will be deployed? What would you think about that? And I'll go to our host first. John, what are your thoughts about that 3 safety look with Richie and the boys?
Yeah, I think it's going to happen for sure. Because I mean, that's Richie. If he's got something that he's really better at, it's definitely playing closer to the line of scrimmage. You don't necessarily want him going deep, guarding any kind of fast guys. You're really athletic tight ends. We saw how that worked out last year. It wasn't great, but if he can come up, he'll hit somebody all day long. So if he can just be smart and play his cues and know where he's supposed to be. Yeah, I mean, I think you'll definitely see some 3 safety looks, and especially like any dime packages. I think you're probably gonna see him out there for sure.
You got to also stay away from tight ends that play for the Cardinals too.
Oh wow! You know what? Hey man,
just saying. Falcons hit that like.
Let it go, man. That was last year, Jack. Let it go.
I was in the stands, man. Cardinals fans turned to me and said, "You guys are."
That Richie.
How many wins you guys got?
You know what? Unnecessary roughness on Jack Spade.
Okay.
Bringing up
very hot tonight.
Is the whistle blowing? Is the whistle working? I don't even know if it's working.
Come on, Jack. Let the man live. Okay. It's 2024. We're turning over a new leaf. Okay. Now, if it happens again this year, knock on wood and everything else. Hopefully it won't, but let him live.
Before we get to these topics here shortly, big shout out to Chase in the chat. Dirty Fanatics United. Hey, man, rise up and smash that like button. See money appearance will never just give me the word. Dirty Fanatics United, man, they're doing a great job over there with their content too as well. I think they recently interviewed Mike Johnson, former Falcons player, John Abraham, former Falcons player. You can get me on over there too, Chase. I play QB4 for the Falcons. I mean, if Taylor's gone, somebody got to step up, right? But big shout out to Chase, Cody, and Philip over there at DFU. Michael's in the chat too as well with the one time. I know we just talked about the crash out crew. D offered. Remember I just mentioned that the players has been like they're buying into the crash out crew. Well, D offered just posted. He just tweeted. He tweeted the crash out crew. That's the emojis. The red alert, the exclamation point, and the doggone what's this? The collision symbol. Okay. So that's the crash out crew's emojis. Now we got the one time for the fan emojis. Now the Falcons have the crash out crew emojis. I like that.
That's not the same as the crash unit crew, right? Like we're not going to Orleans Saints and hunting people. I mean, it's just
no
crash out crew, right? It's not.
I don't think we have Greg Williams on our teams. I don't think we have Greg Williams.
Okay.
We're good on that. Smooth C's in the chat though. I'll go ahead and put this camera view to the other side. There we go. Smooth C's in the chat. We shot the Smooth C one time for the one time.
One time.
This is great, man. I'm feeling it right here. Falcons, Jags coming up this weekend on Friday. I'm sure that Jags fan is somewhere in the chat lurking, waiting for his opportunity. It's that time he gets to finally walk into the Benz again. Let's go ahead and talk some Falcons football here. John,
Sir.
We got the Falcons out here practicing. Some training camp news and updates. Let's head over to Mark Ramondi, who does a great job covering the Atlanta Falcons. Pop this up here on the screen. Mark has covered the Atlanta Falcons since he's been here since over the summer. I know some fans remember Michael Rothstein, who used to cover for the Falcons with ESPN. He's no longer doing that now. But Michael did a great job too as well, and so does Mark. But we do have some updated notes here for all the Falcon fans who want to know what is going on at camp right now. And a lot of fans have to work during the day. They can't see a lot of the posts and a lot of the videos and a lot of the pictures that's happening from camp. But John, I know you follow the Falcons pretty well. Your thoughts about camp today? Any news that you hear? Apparently, Caden Ellis might have suffered a groin injury too as well.
Yeah, sorry to stand you on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sucks. Hopefully it's nothing bad. I mean, nothing serious. And then I saw Landman too had like a quad that he was out to. Mm-hmm. But I was reading from our buddy Will McFadden, on the website, and he was talking about how Troy Anderson looked today, which is great to hear. He said he was everywhere, speed was showing up, and more importantly, and I'm just going to quote him. He said it's basically he knew. Right, well, I just had it now. I just lost it.
Mic'd up Troy Anderson too as well, Montana.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he said Anderson's sideline to sideline range feels like it's a tier above the last player that could cover that amount of ground. Anderson came was Deion Jones, and we knew what kind of guy he was. Obviously, he was everywhere when he was right. But he said the speed stood out immediately, both in terms of mental processing, which is the big thing for me because that's where Troy was a little bit behind, which no, understandably so. He hadn't played linebacker that long, so then he obviously getting hurt last year. So to see that the mental processing is coming around, slowing down for him, he's gonna be hell to deal with this year, man. I think it's gonna be a hell of a year for him.
Do fans remember that Troy played how many positions in college? It was like 3 or 4.
Running back, quarterback, linebacker. I mean, yeah, special teams. Yeah, he's all over the place.
We got some athletes out there, Falcon fans. So big shout out to Troy Anderson, mic'd up Montana, man. Make sure you go check out that video too as well. The Falcons had that up earlier today. Kerry T. Will, some Falcons news and updates from camp today. Darnell Mooney coming away with some catches, and Drake London too as well, leading the way. Mooney had a big catch today too as well from I'm telling you, before we even get to the notes, I'm sorry. Kirk Cousins has totally changed this team. I'm just thinking about it, looking at these notes, and I'm thinking about, Mooney and London with these catches and where we came from with previous quarterbacks. But Kirk Cousins has totally changed this offense, right? Every video I see, John or chat, everybody on the panel, agree or disagree, every practice that you have seen from the Falcons has just been like top tier. Like Kirk Cousins is really just making this team better. I mean, true or false?
Oh, 100% true. 100%.
Every set of notes that you look at is Kirk Cousins just, everything going through his progressions, going through his reads the correct way, getting the ball to Drake London, getting the ball to Mooney, getting everybody involved. It's giving you that Matt Ryan feeling again, right? It's giving you that vibe that we have a guy that can actually lead the way this year. Because I'm looking at I'm gonna show you some video of Cousins and Kyle Pitts today that even the NFL Network is probably like, damn, this dude Kyle Pitts is going to be going off this year. And they love to talk about the Falcons now since this team is so stacked. But Kerry T. Will, any thoughts about the notes from training camp today? You had Cousins and Kyle Pitts connecting on a 40-yard touchdown pass. Bijan Robinson had some carries too as well. Chris Blair, a player that we might mention later on in this podcast here. Fans are excited to see what he can do too as well. But Casey Washington and Carlos Washington definitely had some catches too as well today. But you have a team that's ready to go. Kerry T. Will, any thoughts on camp today?
I was just gonna say that I saw that video, that clip you're talking about with Pitts with that connection today. And I thought that was a great catch, and it was really nice to see. They have that good connection. I'm really excited to see what Pitts does this season. And yeah, that's the main thing that I saw from today's clips from practice that I love.
T. Will, I know you had a good time to follow the Falcons today. What you got, man?
Well, just the crisp passes, the fact that Kirk Cousins brings confidence. right? He's done it. He's been there before. He's been in certain situations. He's going to make the right decision. It's not a thing where, okay, well, I don't know if he's going to, and again, no disrespect to Desmond, no disrespect to any of our previous quarterbacks, but there was clearly a drop off, right? There was clearly, oh, I shouldn't have gone here. There was development needed. Kirk Cousins is a pro. Kirk Cousins can come to the line. Half the time he knows where he's going to go. Just looking at the defense, he can adjust. He can make the throw. He can do the slight adjustments. He can do anything. So just the confidence that Kirk brings, and not only that, the confidence from other receivers. You know what I mean? I personally think Kirk is going to have the best Christmas of his life because look, if I'm an offensive lineman, if I'm a receiver, especially I'm a receiver or a tight end for the Falcons, I'm not going to forget him. I'm going to let him know how much he's appreciated. So, for me, it's all about Kirk Cousins. I think Kyle is going to have a monster year because not only does he have a guy that can deliver him the ball, he has an Obi-Wan Kenobi. For those of you who are not Star Wars fans, he has a guy that can mentor him, right? He's got a guy that can bring him along and say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. So I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. And I think you're right. Kirk has truly changed our outlook on this season and the Falcons in general.
I mean, they know that the pass is going to be thrown where they can catch it. They don't have to reach behind them or through their legs or behind their head. Or that's huge.
Or even some games run into the stands. But yeah, go ahead, John.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I agree with you. It was the last day of open practice before cut day coming up next week, John. These players probably gave it their all at practice. They know the Falcons Jaguars game this week is going to be playing a lot of the third stringers, a lot of the fourth stringers. Fans in the chat want to know, John, who's one player that surprisingly could make this team on that 53-man roster next week? Offense and defense. If you had to look at the team right now and say, you know what? This guy's been balling out. Even though we lost the 2 first preseason games, through the camp notes, through what you've been hearing and what you saw in the preseason game. Of course, there's one more this Friday. Yeah. Who do you think on offense and defense can make this team?
I don't know how until last week, I don't know how you can ignore Natron Brooks now. He just came out of nowhere and went crazy in that Baltimore game. He was just laying people out everywhere, making tackles. And that's going to be a tough room to make too, because we have 75 defensive linemen that all have to make the team. So the corner room,
problem to have.
Right.
Can't go wrong with not enough defensive linemen, I guess, right?
Exactly. But the corner room is going to be tight. You're going to have to really, decide what's guys. You got guys like Kevin King, who's played well. Anthony Hamilton's played well. So it's going to be tough, man. But I do think, if he comes and shows out again this week, he's going to make himself almost impossible to get rid of, which is a good problem. I did see on the depth chart today that they did move Jace ahead of Carlos Washington now, which I thought that since the first week, but and that's just because just watching them both play. I like Carlos a lot, but Jace does have a little bit of the better runs. He can play special teams as well. Played special teams at Alabama, so I don't know that it's tough on the offense because you almost kind of know who's going to make it. It's almost like we already know the guys that's going to be there. So. You're talking about probably an offensive lineman or somebody like that we aren't even thinking of. That's going to be the guy that makes a team. You know what I mean? As far as your skill positions though, those guys, I will say Chris Blair impressed me last week too though. So I thought because we've been waiting for a wide receiver. Casey Washington was good against the Dolphins, not so great. Didn't have a ton of opportunities against the Ravens. I still like Casey a lot. I think you keep him around even if it's on the practice squad. But if Blair comes out, I thought Blair had which I love because we met Blair last year at the open practice and he was an awesome dude. So I'm rooting for him, to make the squad.
Miss Carey, I know you're excited about not only the Falcons Jaguars game on Friday, but the 53-man roster that comes out in probably a week from now. So your thoughts on who you've been seeing ball out at camp? You just mentioned Natron Brooks and Chris Blair. They're getting their D. Alford moment. I remember when D. Alford had that opportunity to make the team, and fans were like, "Yo, you got to go and look at who was it? Was number 20? Was he number 20 at that time? I think it was
20. Yeah,
yeah, it was 20. It's you got to go look at number 20. And people on the hill at training camp would keep yelling D. Alford. Make sure you guys sign D. Alford. Make sure you guys sign D. Now you got a guy like Chris Blair now, who gets his opportunity possibly to make this team, because the Falcons do need a wide receiver since Rondale Moore went down. And then, of course, Natron Brooks, a team that's, just adding Justin Simmons, AJ Terrell. It's looking like Mike Hughes might be the cornerback too. I mean, Clark Phillips had a good practice today, but it looked like Mike Hughes might be the CB2. But Natron Brooks is trying to find his way in that cornerback room. Carrie, your thoughts on Natron Brooks, Chris Blair, and who do you have possibly making this team?
So I agree with John. Like, as far as offense is almost set in stone, I feel like defense is more of like the question mark. I think after watching the Miami game or being at the Miami game, I thought Kevin King, like, he looked so good. And then I was rooting for him, it's a comeback story. So he stood out to me, with that pick in the game. So I'm hoping he makes it, but then you can't ignore Natron Brooks. Like, the Baltimore game, he stood out to me. I'm like, who is that guy? Like, I didn't really know him. So, yeah, I think those two are the ones that stand out to me as far as like, okay, I wonder if they possibly could make it.
We got a chance to talk to Natron Brooks too as well, Terry, at Falcons open practice. He came over and took a picture too as well. So that was cool that we got a chance to meet possibly one of the newest members of the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, these guys are giving it their all right now at camp. And, our hats go off to them because, we're here podcasting and watching from the sidelines. But big shout out to every player who's out there fighting for a job this weekend to make that 53. And if you don't make the 53 and you go find a job somewhere else and you go work for another team, big shout out to you all, man. But we're looking to build the best roster here. I think Raheem, Terry, the rest of the group, they already know what they want. A lot of the inactives that you saw last week, that's probably part of your 53. Then they're trying to fill in some other pieces. That practice squad, Terry, you kept talking about this too as well, how good our practice squad is going to be. It's going to be tough to keep those type of players too, because people are looking at who we cut. I guarantee you, as soon as some of these Falcon players get cut this week, they're going to go ahead and start getting signed to other deals because Raheem has built something strong here. Other teams see that, especially bringing in Justin Simmons, Matthew Judon now. Man, this is going to be an impressive season for the Atlanta Falcons. Terry, who do you have surprisingly making the team? I kind of think I know who you're going to go with on defense, but who do you have that could possibly make this 53 that some fans might not have ever talked about or possibly hasn't been paying attention to? Who you got?
I like Natron on defense. I can say the argument that you could make for offense, you could make for that defensive line. Like, we're probably going to lose somebody decent. I mean, especially that interior defensive line is bananas. So, surprise player, I'm gonna go with Natron on offense. I've been watching both, and I feel like Carlos Washington has had the better camp. So it's up in the air. You know what I mean? I don't think you could go wrong with either one. I have missed some plays. Okay. So I don't, I definitely respect John's opinion and maybe he's seen some things I didn't, but from what I saw, it just seemed like Carlos is a little more shifty and explosive. Now, if you want to talk about size, yeah, Jace gives you more of that, in my opinion, and Jace can do all things. But just looking at the performance, I've seen Carlos flash. I really haven't seen Jace as much, although he did flash some in the Baltimore game, but so did Carlos. So I don't know. They're neck and neck to me. Blair has really flashed to me. Casey did not have a good game, but didn't have a good game at all because he flat out missed 3 passes. Yeah. That one could argue, hey, if it hits you in the hands, right? I had a football coach. If it hits you in the hands, it's his job to get it to you fast, slow, whatever, pretty ugly. But if it hits you in the hands, it's your job to bring it in. And I don't know. So for me, I'm going to say Blair and or Washington, but Carlos Washington. If he doesn't make it, he doesn't make it. On defense, it's anybody's ball game. I'm going to go with Natron Brooks, and you're right, John. That room's going to get a little tight, man. So we're going to lose somebody that's decent. So those are my thoughts.
I'm definitely going to agree with that with Natron Brooks and Chris Blair. Another player I definitely have to bring up, Eddie Goldman, man.
I think
it's Eddie's time. John,
is.
I don't know if you guys have seen here on One Time for the Fan. We kept talking about it. Eddie Kane.
Eddie Kane Jr.
Dude, we just needed it. We just needed him to get through the humidity. That's all we needed. And then he went down to South Florida and he got through that humidity. So we're good. Like we're good.
He woke up this morning. He woke up this
leaving.
morning. It was like 63 degrees. He was like, "Wait a minute, summer's
Exactly.
over."
Dude, today was beautiful here. I was like, it was 75 at noon. I was like, what is happening? I'm normally like 100 degrees and sweated through three pairs of clothes by now. But no, man, dude, look, 6'3", 325. Like we haven't had a guy like that in the middle front in a while, and like he's going to play an important role, man. Like I think he will, because I mean he can just if you're gonna put out a 5-man front, you want to stick him in the middle, have Grady at the 3, to have Grady and Onyemata flanking him.
Good luck.
That's a dirty middle of the line right there, dude.
I'm just loving everything about this team. Carrie, heard what John said. 75 at noon. It was 75 degrees at noon today. You see, like Atlanta weather, like in August.
I can't relate. It was probably like 90 degrees here.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah,
gonna be pissed.
Can I just say real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I just saw on Instagram that D. Alford posted that same picture from Twitter, the Crash Out crew, and he said this one's going in the glow cave with the fire emoji, and then Jesse retweeted it. I'm loving that, the glow cave.
Hey, big shout out to D. Alford, man. This is great to have these players really buying into what's happening here, because Raheem has really changed how the Falcons damn near wake up every day. They know that they have a winning team on their hands. They just have to go out there and just prove it now. The roster is set. Look at this team. Like, look what we have here. Like, that 53 is just going to be stacked with just talent upon talent. And, of course, going to have some games that's going down to the fourth quarter. You're winning 17-13, that type of thing. You're going to have those tight games, but still you have a team that you can believe in once again. And that's why I'm always, just so proud to be an Atlanta Falcon fan. Jesse Matthews is a name that fans need to watch too as well. I'm sure he's going to get a lot of reps this Friday. Between him and Chris Blair, I know fans are excited about Chris Blair, but Jesse Matthews too as well could be a name that could shock some fans to make this roster. But Eddie Goldman, definitely Natron Brooks. But Eddie Kane Jr., man, remember that conversation we had at camp with him, Terry? And if you're watching the show too, Eddie, man, big shout out to you, man. Like, man, go out there and make that 53, bro. Like, we just need old 2019 Eddie back. And it looks like through camp and what we've been seeing, we're getting it, So we'll see if he's held out this Friday, if he's one of the inactives. And if he did, John, if he's one of the inactives this Friday, do you have him on your 53?
100%.
Hey, John agrees.
I mean, look, Jay Rogers still on this staff, had him, in Chicago. I mean, I think he's definitely part of the reason he came back, not just to mention him. He saw what was around him, and we talked about it on our show too. Look, 2 years off of football, his body's got to be feeling the best it's ever felt, maybe in his life. Because he's been playing football since he's probably 5 years old. So he's had 2 years to just kind of get his body right. So, hey, yeah, I don't see him going anywhere, man.
Yeah, Falcon fans, I mean, big shout out to Eddie Goldman, man. Georgia Texas boys in the chat. A1 Forever is in the chat too as well. He's going to be joining us here shortly. Demetrius Jeffrey is in the chat. He said, "What's good,
DJ?"
People? Big shout out to DJ in the chat. Smooth Season in the chat. Do y'all think Terry is done cooking? I don't feel more tweets coming. If anything, I would probably make a move, maybe at wide receiver. That'd be a random move. Remember, John, I don't know if you've seen this, but a lot of fans been talking about the free agent wide receivers that's available, and how you can fill that wide receiver 4 or 5 spot with somebody like a Hunter Renfrow, who you'll probably get active with a Kirk Cousins and a Zach Robinson on your offense. Some fans have even mentioned Michael Thomas, who can end up here in Atlanta with the ties to Terry. But then some fans have mentioned old number 11 who used to play here in Atlanta.
Is it Mr. Quintarius Lopez, aka Julio Jones?
Hey, it ain't YSL Woody. I'm just telling you right now, Falcon fans. Just telling you right now. But John, do you see Smooth C's comment? Is Terry done cooking? It's about 2 weeks out from the first game with Steelers, and John, we may just make the moves with Justin Simmons and Matthew Judon. Is Terry done cooking?
I mean, he might like make a snack. You know what I mean?
Shit, he's still in the kitchen, John.
He might make like a little midnight snack. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he's going to be going out there buying like a big steak like he just did. You know what I mean? Like
what Bernie Mac said? Who down there making them milk and cookies?
He making
right?
eggs?
But he might. Yeah, I mean, he might go, like you said, like a tweak. He might go find like a wide receiver because look, there'll be a lot of guys getting cut over the next couple of weeks. I mean, a lot of good players getting cut that may fit the mold that we want at that position. So yeah, I mean, I don't think he's done. I mean, they're but again, it could be a couple of small things, man. I don't think anything groundbreaking at this point. We had a 24 hours like we haven't had in a long time last week, so I'm not even over that yet.
Man, those wins we made, it feels good. Now you see the Falcons posting, like I said, the Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates posters and wallpaper screensavers for fans to put on their phone. They love this. Like this is Raheem. Oh my gosh, man, I'm just so excited. I can't even talk about it. Fucking Raheem did talk about this, Terry. That when Matthew Judon became available, they was already on the phone with the Patriots. So now we know that they were in talks with the Patriots too, to acquire Matthew Judon earlier too as well. So behind the scenes, they're working.
Always.
Yeah, I think those injuries just kind of really just ramped up those conversations. Yeah. As soon as Trice and Helms went down, they're like, you know what? Let's get him back on the phone like we're right now. Let's go. We gotta.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's why Saints fans are mad because they know if Justin Simmons possibly would have left here and not got a deal, he would have went back to New Orleans and possibly would have signed with them, right? Because the Saints fans were waiting like, oh, he's coming back. He's going to leave Atlanta and come back. Nah, not when you go to dinner with Grady and AJ and Jesse and Raheem. What was they at? Chops? Oh, they fancy, huh?
Yeah, man.
Well,
and they said on I think it's on the Up and Adams, I think Raheem said, or it might have been, I think it was Raheem. They sat at the same table that Raheem sat at when he came in to sign his deal and have their conversation. So like they did the same table, they sat in the same spot, like everything. It was all very, very, kind of, make sure we seal this up. Yeah.
Well, look at that. That's just great that, Arthur Blank, Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris, they're doing the best that they can behind the scenes from the coaching to the business side to make sure fans are really, entertained this season. The season ticket holders, man, big shout out to you all too as well. Any season ticket holders in the chat, definitely rep your section right here. What section are you repping in the chat? But I know season tickets are sold out this year. They still have some single game tickets available for that Steelers Falcon game coming up. But let's go Falcons Jags real quick because I know some people have some things to do tonight, and we want to, we can talk Falcons football all night, but we'll be back Friday morning with Chef Matt, Senior Executive Chef Matt from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They're opening the new Molly B's Lounge too as well. So he'll be checking in Friday from over there, showing us what's going on behind the scenes there. He just dropped the Freddy Burger. That's going to be introduced to the Falcons fans this year. The Freddy Burger, I think it's carries like a 3-4 pound like man versus food type burger.
I don't know, but it looks amazing.
I'm gonna try to find the picture.
That they previewed looks amazing.
No, I'm trying to find the picture. They just preview some new food, but Chef Matt, man, him and his team do a great job. So from Falcon fans that love the food prices and Falcon fans that love the food, Chef Matt will be here Friday to tell you guys what's going on at the stadium and how you guys can just be updated of all the new stuff that they're bringing. I think they had a new like a nachos type of box they did too as well. Something he's gonna show us something, man. Chef Matt is super cool, so it's great to have him join us Friday. King Atlanta supporters here in the chat too as well. When the Falcons win their first Super Bowl, I'm going to be hyped. John, are you going to be hyped when the Falcons win their first Super Bowl?
I'm gonna cry like a baby, like
like a
damn baby.
Yeah,
I mean,
all cry,
dude. I'm telling you, man. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be insane because I mean, it was. 16 was such a roulette down. Like it's gonna, dude. Like I'm telling you, like I'm just gonna lose it. Already, the family knows. Like my kid's probably gonna cry too. I mean, like it's gonna be over with.
Let me see if Chris is gonna cry. Chris, are you gonna cry when the Falcons win the Super Bowl?
A1.
What's up, y'all?
Chris, what's up, buddy?
Man, I'm out here, man, in the field, still getting it in, man. But I definitely wanted to come through. You know what I'm saying? Seeing this all-star class of Falcon fans, man. So I definitely had to come on here and at least speak my piece.
Big shout out to Chris.
Yeah, man.
A1 forever. I mean, you do a good job over there with 95 North too as well. What's going on with what you got right now, Chris? I know you're super busy with podcasting from Hawks to Braves to Falcons. What you got going on now?
All right, man. Well, I know I just dropped a Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons video. I'll make sure y'all go by and check that out. Lord, that was. My bad, man. My bad. Like I said, I'm out here in the field. Sorry for all the noise. But yeah, man, like I said, I just dropped that video. I got a Chris Sale video that I actually plan on working on before I go to bed tonight. So, check that out. And then it's about time to start getting into the Hawks again because preseason is coming up. And also some moves being made. I know people was mad about the 6-man section being gone, and it's a lot to talk about. It's a whole lot to talk about. So,
there's
I'm just
rumors
glad,
that they rebranded the 6-man. They don't know.
Yeah. Something about rebranding and everything. I mean, honestly, I don't know what needed to be rebranded, but that's a Tony Wrestler decision, and that's something for him to make a decision on. That's not A1 Forever's decision, unfortunately.
Big shout out to A1 Forever here talking Falcons football with us. Chris, where can we find you on social media for everybody that wants to know how can we find more content from you?
Oh man, well now what X or Twitter, whatever Elon wants to call it, at A1 Forever. I keep everything simple, man. I really at Instagram A1 Forever, TikTok the real A1 Forever, and of course Facebook. My name Chris Moore.
Big shout out to A1 in the panel here talking Falcons football. Chris, are you going to cry when the Falcons win the Super Bowl?
No, I ain't going to cry. I'll be too busy laughing and joking and pointing at everybody like, haha, we finally got one, whatever. I ain't going to lie to you. I feel like it's going to be a mixture of emotions. I think it's going to be happiness. I think it's going to be like, man, we finally did it. It's going to be a lot.
I might shed that tear, man. I'll tell you, this has been something that we've been Falcon fans for a long time. We've been in that moment. That 2016 moment's gonna hit me when the Falcons get to that Super Bowl again. Like that fourth quarter, like I'm sure they're gonna win it the next time they go. Third time's a charm. But that fourth quarter is gonna hit me personally. Like, bro, we have to win this game. We've been here before.
I might watch it with one eye open, one eye closed.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be so hard to be in that fourth quarter. Like you're just.
Dude,
you're glued in on that fourth quarter. I know it's going to happen, Falcon fans. We're going to get to that moment again. Every Falcon fan in this chat believes with this roster that we can make it to the Super Bowl. I see fans looking at Kirk Cousins interviews and reposting that on social media saying, if this guy is healthy for these next couple of years, we're going to go places. So fans are really excited about what we got going on. But I might even shed a tear too as well. I might shed a tear.
It's okay to admit it.
Yeah, I mean, I told Joe Patrick a few weeks ago when he was on the show, I was like, man, I've done a real good job about like this year, like staying like right here. Like, I haven't been too high, not been too low. And then we go sign Judon and Simmons, gone, done. I'm just completely like 100%. We're going to go like Mike says, 17-0. Like, I mean, it's like full excitement. So it's like, screw it. Why not?
And big shout out to A1 in the chat. No, A1 on the panel. A1, you've had a lot of special guests on your show too as well. John, out of your Falcon mind, you guys have a lot of special guests over there too as well. Who have you spoke to on your channel?
And shout out to Out of Your Falcon Mind being back in the saddle. You know what I'm talking about, man. You guys, man.
Halfway. We're halfway there.
Yeah, man.
You've had Joe Patrick, John Abraham too as well.
No, we didn't have John. That was
John.
that was Smitty and them, and then of course Chase and those guys too. But no, we've had Dave from Falcoholic on, which love having him on. He's amazing. Joe Patrick from 19 The Game, Daniel Flick, from SI. So yeah, we try to reach out. Of course, you guys, we try to get other creators on. Just because we all want to see each other succeed and just have like share the love and everything like that. So Mark Chaney, just saw him in the top. We've had Mark on a couple of times. So yeah, man. I mean, like we just we have a good time. But hopefully we'll get some players on one of these days. That'd be nice, man. Great. It'd be great.
Exactly. You guys do a great job over there on your channel. I know Jay Black is also on the channel too as well. He has a super chat for you. Now I know Country does the that's a super mention. What does Out of Your Falcon Mind do? Because we're prepared to get our stuff set up here.
Dude, I know it's not. I say it every week. I've got to get a sounder. Like Michael do some shit sometimes and say make a noise, but like I've got to get a sounder or something going on.
Make a noise, like
he does. He makes like
have Mike figure it out. He's good with all that TikTok stuff.
It's just like Mike's just immediately boom on it. I'm just kind of like shit. I don't know. Thank you. Like it's like, but appreciate that.
Cool.
But no, Jay Black, man, we love you, man. I appreciate you, bud. But yeah, no, it's y'all, Joe, Jack, how it is hosting the show, man. Like you're trying to like work the chat, you're trying to get your own sounders, you're trying to like keep the show like on straight, and I'm doing it, and I've got Mike talking all kinds of crazy shit, so I got that going on. So it's like it's tough for me to keep it together, dude. Like I get done, I'm exhausted.
Well together, man. That's the great thing about content, with these creators. We're always, supporting the team too as well. But everybody has their own channel. Everybody has their own lane of what they do. So that's what's always cool, that you can get the time from your day to just come talk Falcons with us. But fans here that was asking about us with the YouTube program, that's already been set up. I guess they're going to go through the process YouTube now. John, you know about that stuff, right? When you got to send the YouTube thing over and then they got to process the information. So when that information comes back, then fans can, if they want to donate, some fans hit me up saying, hey, we'd like to donate and support the channel and so forth. Well, that would be great. The super chats and so on, that'd be great. We have no problem with that. So big shout to Jay Black for looking out for Out of Your Falcon Mind. Out of Your Falcon Mind is just one of the many content creators who do a great job in this community, y'all. So definitely head on over and check out their channel from time to time.
Yeah, and Jack, I mean to cut you off, man. Anybody that's on our channel watching, make sure y'all hop over to One Time the Fan, like, subscribe, and this. I'm gonna put this on our audio platform too. So y'all are listening and y'all want to watch One Time, y'all can go on there and actually do the same thing. So again, you can't miss, man. Great content both ways.
Man, it's great. That's great. A1 forever, man. I know you have a lot going on around your way. A1. You've had some special guests over there on the channel too as well. You've talked to Bob Rathburn, Steve Holman too as well when you do your Hawks channel, and then you had, I believe, some other people on your football content too as well. A1.
Oh yeah, man. Shoot, man. Just really, man. Shout out to Birdo and Smitty, man. Sending my brothers from the 95 North, Falcons talk show. We're going to have some things coming up this season. We're planning on having like preview shows, post game shows, special guests, Falcon fans, all alike, on the show and everything like that. I'm pretty surprised we're going to have just about everybody, if not everybody, from this panel right here on talking about Falcons football, because it is the time and it is our time. Our time.
I love it.
Get used to saying that. Our time. And say it with your chest, because that's what time it is. It's our time. It's time to be the bully. It's time to smack everybody in the mouth. I don't know about y'all, but I'm looking for violence. I'm looking for all the smoke this year. I sure am.
Okay.
Chris,
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not wavering.
It sounds like me when Madden came out.
Y'all.
I was texting everybody like, "You guys ready now?" The Madden came out. All that shit.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. Ain't nobody got to worry about my energy changing. I'm 12-5, and I'm standing on that.
Oh,
I really want to go 13-4, but I'm gonna stay at 12-5 just to be, reasonable.
I do want to say the amount of people that's been picking the Falcons on Madden since Madden has dropped has increased.
Everybody been picking us.
Everybody is picking the Falcons on Madden right now for some strange reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just the team is good. Maybe it is Jesse. And I don't think they did the update with Justin Simmons yet. I go back and look. But everybody seems to be picking the Falcons right now. So from the video games to Vegas to the Falcon community, this team is good. People know it. Kirk Cousins, even at his age, even come off of the injury, is a big part of that. Raheem Morris is a big part of that. Terry, before we get the Falcons Jags quickly, you had mentioned something that happened the other day with a coach and a player. I think Chris had to dip too as well. If Chris joins back in, we'll add him to the channel. But you had mentioned something the other day that happened between a coach and a player and how that also relates to the Atlanta Falcons with Raheem Morris and his players. You want to speak on that quickly?
Absolutely. I'd like to call this segment of the show, What's Bugging T. Will? All right. Be quick. So, the other day, Tua, the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, gave an interview. I don't know if you guys saw it. And he specifically pointed out that his coach, former coach, Brian Flores, would tell him a lot of negative things, right? You suck. I think to paraphrase, if you woke up every day and somebody told you suck, you're no good, you need to whatever, it would impact your mental state as well. Now, I'm 53, which means I'm a Gen Xer. I've had some coaches to talk to me that way. Okay. I've had my dad have to get on me. But I think the difference is that you can't get on somebody if you haven't already developed a rapport with them, right? It's like my kids. I can have certain conversations with them. Why? Because I've been with them all their lives. They know me. So if I got to rip into them, right, I can do it. With that being said, people have different personality types. I have 3 different kids, which means I have to come at them 3 different ways, right? If I have a certain conversation with Mariah, and that's my oldest, if I got to criticize her, I gotta make her laugh a little bit and then get into it and then refer back to something, knowing that she's gonna think about it and a week later and be like, "Well, I don't know what you meant by that." Blah 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 blah. If I gotta get on my daughter,
like real dad. It's like what dads do, right? I'm guessing, right?
If I gotta get on my daughter Maya, I gotta give her 38 good things about herself. You did this, you did. Oh my God, this was great. Oh, blah 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 blah. And then at the end, by the way, clean up your room. And not that I have to do that. I'm just saying that's the delivery. Zach and I joke a lot, right? So if I'm gonna get him to do something for me, I'm gonna joke, make him laugh, and be like, "Hey man, your room is disgusting. Let's go." All right, and he'll be like, all right, Dad. But it's about the delivery. Sometimes it's not about what you say; it's how you say it. Now, what does this have to do with the Falcons? Well, I'm glad you asked. Brian Flores is a descendant of who? Mm-hmm. Who did he learn under? Anybody? Who did Brian Flores, right? Who did he come up under as a coach? Anybody?
Flores is still under that tree with the Shanahan tree, isn't he not?
No.
He was under Flores.
28-3. I'll give you a hint.
Oh God. Really? Patriots?
Darth Vader. Darth Bill.
Yeah.
Right?
Bill Belichick.
So walk with me for a second, right? Darius Slay, who I think plays for the Eagles now, or did, I don't know, played for Detroit when Matt Patricia, another descendant of who? Darth Bill, became the head coach. And the first thing he did is, Darius, you're not that good. You don't know what you're doing. Blah, 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 blah. And this really rubbed Darius the wrong way. So my point is, you can deliver criticism if you already have the rapport. However, if you don't have the rapport, you really don't have the trust to criticize. And I say all of that to say, I am really glad that we made the choice to go to Raheem, who is very much a player's coach, very much a good communicator, very much a leader of men, right? Because I think ultimately we will be a better team. Because make no mistake about it, you can say what you want to about Tua. I think he was 100% honest, and that does happen in this game. And it boils down to this. The best supervisor that I ever had was a man named Andre O'Brien. I worked for Andre for about 3-4 years. Andre would tell me to do something, I would do it. If there was ever a time that there was something I didn't like, he would say, "Hey, let's talk about this. All right, you did this. Why? I want to know why." And I'd tell him, and he'd say, "Okay, what do you think you should have done?" And then I'd come back and say whatever. But it was positive. He never ripped me. He never cut into me. It was always positive. Best supervisor I'd ever had. Now that's me. Okay. But my point is, as a coach in today's NFL, you gotta be a psychologist, especially with a quarterback. You can't take the same approach that you do with the quarterback with your kicker. Okay. Just my thoughts. I'll throw it out to you guys. What do you think?
What's bucking T. Will? Carrie?
Yeah. So to expand off of that, I was listening to Kay Adams. She interviewed Grady Jarrett. I think that was yesterday maybe, but I watched it this morning. And what stood out to me about what you're saying is, or what I thought of is that one thing that Grady said about Raheem is that he speaks life into his players, which I know everybody knows. Everyone wants to run through a wall for him, which he did say. And he's a player's coach and leader of men, super energetic, happy and, great vibes, good energy. But I thought that kind of applies to what you just mentioned, speaking life into your players, because, they need the, confidence, just like how we were talking about Kirk Cousins, how all the receivers and, playmakers know that they're going to get the ball because he can get it to them. So it's like you want a coach that can at least, if they're going to critique you, at least do it in a way that the player can, accept, kind of like constructive criticism. Not everybody handles, I feel like more players or people in general will handle that better than just the tough love approach.
Your
Some
ass.
people tough love, but not everyone likes that. So I think it's okay to criticize. Oh, my name is
Sorry, Carrie.
No.
Where's my wow? Why isn't my wow wowing? What is
What's
going on?
No, but
No, Carrie, you're definitely telling the truth about that. And of course, some players you have to speak to them a certain type of way, like Terry mentioned with his kids. So, I mean, for Tua's situation, that for a quarterback, that could lower your confidence if your coach is like, yo, you will never be this, you're never that. Why did they pay you?
yeah,
And Tua
talking
is
down
saying
to
on
them.
the other side, this is what the GM is saying, this is what the ownership is saying. They're saying you're cool. They're saying you're good. We're gonna pay you. You're a franchise guy. So in some situations, it kind of sucks. But for Kirk, for Raheem, for what you said, Kerry, about Grady, we heard that when Raheem first got here, when he was in that room and he mentioned outrunning the South. And some of the themes of their meetings were energy and communication. Some of the things that I saw from Raheem, I just didn't see from other coaches. I'm guessing that's why they chose Raheem to be the guy over Bill Belichick. We have to remember, Falcon fans, that when the interviewing process came up to be open for the Atlanta Falcons head coaching job, Raheem was one of the first ones interviewed, right? He wasn't at the back of the pack. So this is a coach who not only got a chance to coach here earlier in Atlanta when the situation was, unfortunate then, but now he gets a chance to really build this team. And I'm glad Arthur see that he's the coach that can speak to his players. He can communicate with them. How many times have we mentioned that he's a player's coach on this podcast? He knows how to speak. Eddie Goldman might make this 53, and it's probably because of Raheem Morris. Even to hear that they had talks with Calais Campbell going up until the close time when he was getting ready to go to Miami, the Falcons were still reaching out to him. So it was good to know that Raheem, Kevin King, Antonio Hamilton, any person he's brought in here, Justin Simmons and Matthew Judon, like, let's go to that. He's a player's coach, right? He knows how to talk to these guys. He can make these players believe in what he's putting out there from the defensive side to the offensive side. But players know that they can win with Raheem. I don't know if it's because of his track record in the past or because it's what he's teaching them now, but players know that they can win with Raheem. I'm glad to have a player's coach there, a media's coach, a fan's coach. Terry, you saw it when Raheem walked over to us. He's a fan's coach. He wasn't doing that because he's the head coach. He has to run over there and sign autographs and take pictures. He wants to be that guy. He's walking over there as a fan. Terry, remember what he said? He told us 1 second. He was like, I'm doing the audio. I'm doing the what's he doing, Terry? When I told him come over
with somebody, I think he was doing an interview with somebody.
He was doing an interview, but I was like, Raheem. He was like,
yeah. But he's genuine.
On, man. He's genuine.
He's genuine. And the thing about it, like, again, I'm not saying that there are not times that you don't have to get on a player. You definitely do. But there's a method to it, right? Even my dad, I mean, if he gave you a compliment, write it down. Mm-hmm. Even he in private would counsel and teach, right? So I can see it both ways. But with this generation, if you're gonna rip somebody, you got to make sure you got a rapport, right? I had a baseball game, Little League, real quick. I was 7 years old. I had the best game of my life. I went 4 for 4. I had 5 doubles, 1 triple. We won the game. We were killing them. I made great defensive plays. I made 1 mistake, right? I made 1 mistake, just 1. No, I might have been 8, whatever. Anyway, I'm walking off the field. I'm thinking Dad's going to be like, oh, you did great. He was like, if you'd have just been quicker. And it pissed me off because I was like, I mean, I didn't say this. I'm 7. But I'm thinking, are you serious? But that was him. But go ahead.
No, I don't want to cut you off, but you're right. Because I've been telling what I've been telling my son. We're doing the football thing.
Yeah.
He came to me the other day when we had the not the trials, but kind of like the practice, and he's like, "How did I do?" And I was like, "Your first 2 practices was way better than that practice." Mm-hmm. But I had to be critical with him. I had to tell him straight up that practice right there was not what I saw the other 2 days.
But at least you said the first 2, right? Yeah. My dad, I mean, unless you were perfect, you're not gonna get acknowledged, and that's fine. That was him. That was their way. That was the way they came up. I understand that. I even understand it from Brian Flores because he's probably from my generation. My point is, with this new generation, there's some folks you can't take that approach with. They are going to shut down, right?
Just say it. They're soft, no.
Well, no.
Okay, they're soft. So soft. Get up, man. So sorry ass.
I'm not saying that. What I am saying is some people respond better to positive reinforcement, right? Yes. I've worked for all kind of bosses. I've worked for assholes before. Now, I'll be honest with you. The asshole, if he called me to do something, I'm not doing it unless I have to. The folks that really were there for me and put into me, hey, what do you need, man? You need me to work today? Cool. I'll cancel some plans. But the asshole, I might not even answer the phone.
Right.
Exactly.
You're not going to go above and beyond for them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. When folks
more
say,
what's bugging you, I love this. Go ahead, John.
no, yeah. When folks say, like he's a player's coach, like to me, that just says he is a great communicator, whether it's Raheem or whoever, because he's figured out and like T. Will said too, it doesn't matter if it's management or a coach or whatever. Like if you are in charge of a group of people, then yeah, each person is going to respond to you differently. They may learn differently. They may take criticism differently. That's your job to figure that out. And that's your job to get the most out of them. So that's, that's what you have to see. And that's what Raheem has made a career of doing, because like Kay Adams said in that same interview that Carrie was watching, I called it this morning as well. Like she said, no matter where she goes, like like everybody is like he's universally loved by everybody she talks to. Like everybody just starts glowing whenever like his name gets brought up, so it's like, it's for real, and T. Will, like your dad sounds just like my dad. So like very similar, like upbringing, right? So like my son has been playing baseball for a long time, and it's like, we've been lucky enough to have a coach these last 3 or 4 years, same coach. And, he's like, he tells the dads, look, I need you guys to be their number one fan club. I'm going to take care of them here. They're going to know everything they did wrong, and they're going to everything. Like when we leave and we have our meetings, like I'm going to make sure they know what they have to do. I need you to reinforce all the good stuff, because they don't need you coming down on them after I just whooped their ass in a 2.5 hour practice. And so, because there's a lot of dads, and y'all know, and it's hard as a dad, because you want to see your son do so well and succeed and fix those things that you saw, and you got to like just sit back, but hey, you know what? No, this coach. If you're lucky enough to have a good coach, that's the key. You got to have a good coach. But you see that guy making those. He's that invested in your kid. Great, you're in a good spot. You let him handle it. You take care. You just be the dad, and you be supportive. Go from there.
I'm glad you brought this up, Terry, with what's bugging T. Will, because remember I told you the other day when I was on the sideline watching my son out there, it felt like I wanted to get in his shoes for that moment and then jump right back out of it. Right, like let me help you with this play. But the coach was like, okay, parents they're not yelling and screaming at these kids, so let them have a good time. But I was over there telling my son, cover 2. We're playing man. We're playing man. He keeps looking over on the side. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, playing man. Backpedal. We're playing man. You know what I'm saying? So it was that moment where, John, we're parents who have kids that play sports. So how do you talk to your kid when it comes to those moments where it's like, you saw the Brian Flores and interview and then Tua. Like, how do you talk to your kid in those moments where it's like, we're going to coach him up, but there's going to be days where, he's not going to play to the best of his ability. Right. And those words might not mean nothing to him right there. But how do you coach him up, John?
I mean, I've been lucky with Liam, to be honest with you, because ever since he was like in Little League, when he's 14 now, travel ball, all this stuff, right? So, and he's just a pitcher now. Like he doesn't do anything else but pitch. Nice. So he kind of understands. He knows when he has bad games, or he knows when he has bad plays. I don't need to tell him about it. Like I don't need, like if he's playing third and made a bad error in a game, like he knows what he should have done or whatever. So I'm just like, hey man, don't worry about it. Get it next play, next inning, next play. Don't worry about it. Get it out of your mind. That's it. Short memory, that type of thing. Because baseball, just like playing quarterback, whatever. It's a rough game. It's a game of failure. Y'all have all heard it. Like the guys the hitters that succeed 30% of the time make millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? So it's a tough game.
Remember you told me he recently changed positions too, right?
Yeah, he just switched to a pitcher only now. So that's all. Yeah. So he's not hitting anymore, that's one less thing we have to worry about. But pitching, like when he pitches, man, like I'm far more nervous than he is on the mound. Like far more. Like he's much more relaxed on the mound. I'm sitting there like pacing back and forth, like I'm, I get crazy. But no, I think it depends on the kid, man. Like, if the kid, I've seen some kids that just get, their dad kind of punches them in the chest, gets them ready to go, whatever it may be, what I mean? Like not like literally, but just trying to getting them jacked up, So that's I think it's just a per kid type of thing. But I just think as a dad, man, you can't be overly critical, because it will give you the opposite effect, if that makes sense. It's like they're gonna be like they're gonna tune you out eventually and be like, just dad, shut the hell up, man. You don't like you don't know what you're talking about. Like, Coach got me, you just shut the hell up.
Yeah,
you got to have a little bit of love in there too, if not a lot of love in there.
Falcon fans talking Falcons football with John from Out of Your Falcons Mind, one half of Out of Your Falcon Mind. Big shout out to Mike too as well. A1 stopped by to talk some Falcons football with us for a couple of minutes. He had to go back to work. You know, A1's probably gonna be back on the show soon. Kerry, one time for the fan. T Will, one time for the fan. Big shout out to Bodie. I don't know where he is right now, but big shout out to Bodie, man, because you know he's always repping one time for the fan. He's always repping the Atlanta Falcons too as well. So big shout out to Bodie. Sold Shiesty's in the chat. Jordan Burton's in the chat. Smooth C is in the chat too as well. Ryan the Historian Walker is in the chat. We got some content creators that's out here talking Falcons football with us. The Birdcage LLC. There he goes. Big John, what's good, fam? And good evening to the panel. We got to get the Birdcage over here. Talk some Falcons football. A lot of fans show up to the chat. A lot of content creators show up to the chat. And you know we love talking Falcons football with everybody. So let's try to get you on as soon as possible, Birdcage, especially with the season starting. I know everybody's really excited to talk some Falcons football. Before we get up out of here, let's talk Falcons Jags. What are we looking for, Kerry, this Friday? It's not a 12 o'clock game, so fans don't have to just rush up quickly. You know, it's a 7:30. So some fans get some time to make it to the bins, you know, for this game. So, Kerry, what are we looking for this Friday? Falcons, Jags.
I'm looking for that Jaguars fan. I haven't seen him.
Shit!
I haven't seen him lately.
I don't know why my wow's not working. That was the moment for it.
I haven't seen him. No, because he's always in the chat, you know, talking crap about the Falcons. I haven't seen him in there lately. And we're finally playing them, so.
Untimely absent on the Jaguars fan. Always in here talking trash, and we need to talk to him most. He's not here.
Yeah, where is he? Exactly.
He's not in here. He did ask the other day about what section the Jags are coming out of the tunnel. I was like, bro, just go look on Ticketmaster.
He's gonna be there.
Yeah, of course he's gonna be there. He lives in Atlanta. Like
Okay.
Yeah, Atlanta raised him, but he's just a Jags fan, a Bulls fan, a Colorado Avalanche fan, an Arizona Diamondbacks fan.
Wait.
And
what the hell?
I'm sorry.
What the hell? Thank you, John. But yeah.
Are you making that up or that's
no? I'm for real. If you go, I went to school with him. I know he's.
Oh,
you
wow.
know, he's a Diamondbacks fan in baseball, Avalanche for hockey, Bulls for basketball. At the Hawks game, when you go to the Hawks stadium, he's always wearing his Bulls gear. And of course, you know, he's a Jaguars fan too. So, oh, I forgot Alabama for college football.
Oh, we got one right.
All over the place.
John's like this is a goddamn headache right here. Just listen to this shit.
Oh, hey, don't forget. I think Zay had a question for you though. He said he had a super chat and said no tailgate in Philly. I think he's talking about
the chat is live and lit too as well, John. I'm so sorry to Zay.
No, you're good. I think it's a question for you though.
With a super chat, no tailgate in Philly. No. Not doing that with Eagles fans. Nope. It's going to be difficult to get a space to bring Falcon fans out. You know, especially we're out there in Philadelphia, where most of us are not from Philadelphia. I mean, our good friend who's in Philadelphia told us, like, yo, just be careful in some of those areas. Like, just don't be going over there just trying to rep and show out, because they will stand up and fight for their team. So just be prepared for some of those fans. I'm working on something for the Instagram that, you know, we can put out, because I told you one time for the fan Instagram page, we're gonna have some behind the scenes stuff at the games, in the stands with the fans. So we're gonna try to find out who are the the positive fans out there in Philadelphia, right? Hopefully the section I'm sitting in, they're gonna be fans like, hey, we don't curse, we're not gonna throw no cans, we're not throwing batteries, we're the cool group.
Good luck with
right?
that. I'm
gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna try to put the phone up and tell everybody, when I put the phone up, everybody just say, hey, y'all, one time for the fan, y'all, big shout out. I don't want to hear no bullshit when I put the phone up. So I'm going to talk to all the fans around me. Terry, I told you when I go to these stadiums, I talk to the fans around me to let them know who I am and what I'm about to do. And if you have a problem with that, let me know now so we can get services involved or ticket relocation and send me to a different area, because I'm about to be standing up. I'm ripping my team. Third downs, that's what I do. So I have to let the fans around me know that. Remember in Cincinnati, Terry, I told you the guy behind me said, oh, you can stand up all game. You don't have to worry about that. Because by the time the third quarter hit, every Bengal fan was on their feet. Nobody was sitting down. So that's why he was telling me, stand up all you want, because he's going to be over there standing up with the Bengals. Chances are, if you're playing here in Cincinnati, your team might lose too as well, because that's how good their team was at that point. I knew that guy was talking, like, he was slick talking shit, because he was like, okay, well, we're a team that's probably going to the playoffs. You're a team that's, you know, got Mariota. You know what I'm saying? So,
wow,
that was tough. Because remember, people kept asking me in Cincinnati, when are you guys going to put that Ritter kid in? We'd love to have Ritter in right now. Like, okay, All right. But hey, some games like that, going to Seattle, fans stand up all game. So be prepared for that when you go to some of these cities, right? If you're in New Orleans, up there in like the 400, 500 section, that's the rowdy group. So be prepared if you're up there in that area. That's why them tickets are $30. You're going to find out when you get up there, right? No security, no good services. You in there on your own. But down there in that 100 level, a lot of fans are not like the old Saints fans. Like that's the PSL area now. That's their money area. There's still no cup holders, but that's the money area, right? So
cup holders?
I don't understand. It's like, this big ass stadium. Got to put my damn cup on the ground. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's a no tailgate in Philly. But we have some other stuff planned for this year. So fans is gonna be out coming to a lot of these games this year. We have a lot of stuff planned, but just no tailgate in Philly. The halftime photos in Philly though, and that's gonna be probably difficult to take care of too as well. Because Eagles fans, we're gonna be blocking up the hallway for a good amount of time. So I'm sure Eagles fans are not gonna
They'll love that.
They're gonna, oh yeah, you guys, oh sure, we'll just go around. Sure, yeah. 400 fans here, sure, we'll just go around. All right. But these are the things that we do. Falcon fans, these are the things that we do. John, Falcons, Jaguars this Friday. What do you got, man? What are you looking for? I'm sure a lot of the first unit will be out, a lot of the second unit might be out, but you never know who can play. What are you looking for this Friday?
Just no stretchers. That's pretty much it.
That's true.
I got little. I mean, a lot of these guys are just trying to make the team, man. And so, especially the guys that are on the fringe, you want to see them show out. I want to see a wide receiver step up. I want to see Natron Brooks repeat that performance from last week. So does nothing crazy. I'm just like everybody else, man. I'm just waiting for that week one, to get here. And I got to ask real quick. For each one of y'all, are y'all all good with the not playing any starters? Are y'all all good with that? Because it's been all over social media, which it is every single year when this comes up.
Oh, the experts are talking again? Are the experts out here talking about what's going on?
Every year.
Carrie T. Will, your thoughts on that?
I'll let Miss Carrie go first. You're muted, Carrie.
Is she muted?
I can't hear her.
Sorry, yes, I was muted. I don't know. I see both sides because it's like, look at what just happened to JJ McCarthy. He got hurt. I don't want anything bad to happen to Penix. I don't want anybody to go out on a stretcher, after I saw 2 injuries during the Dolphins game. I don't want to see anyone get hurt. But then some people argue you can get hurt in practice, you can get hurt in a game a lot. I see both sides. Since Penix is just sitting and learning for at least likely 2 years, I mean, when I saw him in Miami, I was like sad when he came out. I was like, I want to see more. I was loving how he was throwing the ball, how he played. I was not ready for the big Penix energy to end. So,
this damn whistle doesn't work. It's not working. Damn it.
So, got to emphasize that
for obvious reasons. That's scary.
As long as the X is emphasized, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm doing this
window. Illegal use of innuendo. 10-yard penalty on Jerry.
So
10-yard penalty on Carrie.
I get it. I get both sides. I know, also probably some people are scarred from Ritter not playing at all in the preseason, and then we're thinking, oh well, he must be real good, and then look what happened. So I get it, but I don't. I'm kind of in the middle. I mean,
yeah.
I see both sides, honestly, but
for me, I think of it this way, right? Think of it this way, and I'm going to use another team not named the Falcons. I'm not even going to put this out here. This is a scenario in a mythical time in a parallel universe, not this one. All right. So this is in a parallel universe, right?
And the Pigeons were playing, yeah.
A team that let's say Marvel 818 universe, whatever. Shout out to my Marvel fans out there. But let's say in this universe, right, that there's another team and we love this team and they're awesome. They are awesome. They are great. They cry, sweat, bleed excellence. They are everything that we want. And you've got your starting team out there and you're up 35-10. Shout out to Philip from DFU. We're whooping ass. We are kicking ass and taking names. And your star receiver tears an Achilles. Now, it was a meaningless game. And yes, you could say folks needed the practice, but it's a meaningless game. Do you know what the narrative is going to be for the next 6, 7, 8 weeks? It's going to be, why would you play him? Why would you have him in there? This game is meaningless. My humble opinion, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Right? I understand precaution in this scenario, specifically since A, your 36-year-old quarterback is coming off an Achilles. B, your second string quarterback has had some previous injuries. You want to make sure that they are both healthy. C, your entire first string, you got pressure. If you think there's no pressure on Raheem and company, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. There is pressure. This is a way to say that, hey, we did everything we could to make sure that everyone was healthy from start one. Are they going to be a little rusty? Probably so. But guess what, guys? You can't have it both ways. That's my thoughts. Jack, what do you say?
I think if Raheem and the group decides that, he doesn't want to play these guys during preseason, that's perfectly fine. I know in the past, fans wanted to see the starters play. They want to see, a lot of their big names on the field. A lot of people show up to these preseason games so they can see these guys play. I know a friend of mine traveled to Baltimore to go see if he can see Penix play. Got row one tickets too as well, just to see if he can get a jersey signed, but didn't get a chance to happen. But still, you got to protect these players, man. I mean, I think they're going to be ready to go week one. I think what Kirk has been working on, what Zach Robinson has been working on back there in the barn, which you don't see on the main field at Flowery Branch, the stuff behind the scenes, I think they're ready to go against Philadelphia. I think they're probably looking at their 53 right now. They just have to get through their the Jaguars game this Friday. They already know who's going to be there next week, Tuesday, right? So for me, I'm cool with it. As long as everybody's healthy to go, as long as Kurt's healthy to go, Bijan. Because next week against the Steelers, we're going to give them hell. I don't even know if the Steelers know who their quarterback. Right now, Arthur Smith might be playing quarterback against the Falcons next week.
Lord.
I don't know what's going on.
Did you watch that game? Did you watch the Steelers game last week?
I did not, but they're playing matter of fact, they might have it on coming on in a minute. They're playing the Bears Bengals right now.
I watched that whole game just out of I don't know. I had no life at that moment. But I mean, there was, that was rough, man.
Bills Steelers, right?
Yeah, the starters played for a while, and and he 3 points. 3 points. Steelers fans losing their mind on Twitter. It was hilarious.
I saw that. Yeah. They're all
funny.
Falcons fans try to warn us.
Exactly. So damn, it was 15 points in 8 quarters, something like that. They're losing their mind. Yeah, it was
combined 150 yards or something passing between the two or something
stupid like that. Yeah.
Well, we talked about it here on the show, Falcon fans, that Raheem has set this team up to where we know who our starting offensive line is. We know who our defensive line damn near is. We know who our cornerbacks might be. We know who the damn safeties are. We know who the quarterback is. Other teams are still fighting to find that out. Denver made the announcement today. Bo Nix is the starting quarterback.
Sure did.
Right? So now that's 2 rookie quarterbacks that the Falcons will be playing up against this year. You never even know. Spencer Rattler could be the next one. You never know. Right? Especially the way that Derek Carr, remember the video you sent me earlier, Kerry? Derek Carr he's in mid-season form, is he not? He's throwing some ducks. It's looking bad out there. But here, Falcon fans, chat is live, chat is lit. Let Raheem do what Raheem got to do with this team. Week 1 against the Steelers. Let's go out there. Let's blow them out. But you're going to have Kirk out there. You're going to have Bijan. You're going to have Tyler out there. You're going to have Kyle, Drake. I mean, oh my gosh, these amount of stars we have on this team. It's just amazing. Big shout out to Dirty Bird 79 in the chat. He said, when's Kiara going to be back on the show? Kiara ain't been on this show like almost a year, man. Big shout out to Kiki too as well. I was talking to her earlier. We were talking about some Falcons football, but no, Kiki's she's off doing something else right now. I don't know if we can get her back as a special guest if you want to. But big shout out to Kiki. I know she has a lot going on too as well. The man Sir Ra is in the chat. Heard a rumor from Steelers camp. Arthur Smith hopes to drop 40 points in week 1, if true. Yeah. Okay, Arthur. You hear that rumor too, John? 40 points?
I did see that. Yeah. I don't know if it was like he actually said it in his press conference or not, but I hope he said it. That'd be awesome. I mean, I hope he said it. Yeah.
40 points with those 2 quarterbacks you got right now?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm telling you right now, Falcon fans, it's possible. I think Justin Fields starts, but I do think you probably see both quarterbacks play week 1. Like Arthur Smith is going to come out there with that Joker shit. Oh, we're gonna have a little formation with Russell in right now. That's just not going to work. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, it's going to be some. Yeah, Yeah.
Hopefully you grow the mustache back to us again. Dre the Boxer, they constantly remind us that Kirk is coming off major injury. Then try to troll us for not putting him out there. I just don't agree with the Penix PT plan. John, like you just mentioning, I mean, there's some fans, might be upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, like I think we all want to see, like Kerry said, we want to see Penix play because it's exciting and it's new and it's like our rookie, our first round quarterback. Of course, you want to see him out there, but is he play? Like Jaden Daniels, like the people bringing up points last week. Jaden Daniels is playing. Jaden Daniels is starting.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is starting. Like Penix is not starting this year. Like like hopefully, knock on wood, he's not starting this year. And he's got plenty of time to get playing time. And if he was starting this year, it'd be something so different. I'd be saying, look, he needs to get those reps right now. He's got to get those reps, but he's got time to sit behind Kirk. And you don't. And if in this, it's like T Will perfectly. Yeah, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if you play Penix, he gets hurt. Well, now your backups. What, Taylor Heineke, John Paddock? I mean, holy shit! And then you got to really hope that Kirk Cousins doesn't get hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it hurt. So like you've got two guys, like T. Will said, had some injuries. You hope they both stay healthy, but you can't risk them in a meaningless game against possible second stringers, even third stringers that are trying to make a team. That are going to do whatever they got to do to make a team. Like you got to be smart about this, man.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not risking Penix. I mean, and I would love, and honestly, I would rather see Kirk more than Penix because I would like to see Kirk back on the field in an offense that he, coming off that injury. And I'm fine with him not, but that's what I would rather see. If you're going to talk about the argument, I want to see him out there with the first team offense. Like let them get some actually live bullets going. But yeah, like you said, they're going to be probably a little rusty. But man, they had a scrimmage today that they said was going like full bore. And like basically just
they simulated like the week 1 game,
right. Except and so I saw Kirk's press conference. And he's like, man, I loved it. He's like, I want to do another one like this. Like I want to, I want to make it more like this, so you can, and that's different because you can actually mostly control those outcomes because the guys ain't there trying to hit, and try to like injure folks. So I mean, that's my thoughts.
I mean, also remember what Kirk Cousins mentioned about the joint practice in Miami. He said, if I can bring that same type of speed, type of practice down in Miami and bring those players back to Atlanta and say, look, we got to do this all the time. He mentioned that after the joint practice in Miami, day 1. So now you see that, their practice today, the last practice before, they got to hang that 53 up on Tuesday, but they're probably going to do their walkthroughs tomorrow. But these players, I mean, they know what's on the line, right? And Bijan Robinson, who's mad that Bijan didn't play in the preseason? Like, who's mad? Like, you guys want to see Bijan in the preseason? For what? And what does it do? I got
to point out too, last year, and this happens every year, Tomlin plays his starters a lot during the preseason. They started off like ass last year. Like it always doesn't correlate just because you got a few extra reps or like an extra drive. Like that's why I said when people were going nuts on Twitter the other day, I was like, if Penix comes in a year, 2 years from now, whatever, and he starts slow, nobody's gonna be saying, he should have played at least two series back in 2024 during the preseason. Like we wouldn't be here right now. He'd be completely fine.
2024, man, that's why right there.
What's crazy, John, is that you said no one's gonna say that, but they actually probably will.
No shit. I'm gonna bookmark my own tweet so that I'll probably get responded back. There was like several bookmarks on it, so I'm sure they're just waiting to respond back in 2026.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
If Penix was drafted last year and Ritter was in that QB room, does he play the preseason? Do you think
he was drafted last year? Would Penix play last year?
Yeah. Do you think he'll play the preseason? Like, you think they'll have him sit out like he's ready to go? Do you think it'll be more of a camp battle between him and Ritter at that point?
Yeah, I think Penix would have won that battle. But yeah, I think so.
Well, Falcon fans, it's kind of different. You got Kirk Cousins in the room.
Exactly.
I mean, they already said that Kirk is now and Penix is the future, right? So, I do think Penix does get into the game this year a couple times this season. There's going to be games like Philip from DFU said, Terry, 35-10, 27-10, fourth quarter, 6 minutes left to go. Why is Kirk in the game? Why? I mean, ask me as a Falcon fan, why is Kirk Cousins in the game for up 25 points in the fourth quarter? Why? Tell me right now, why is Kirk Cousins in the game?
I know if we're up against the Saints, and I don't care if it's 3 seconds left, we're throwing a goal.
I'm putting everybody in. I'm running the ball. Bijan's scoring a touchdown.
Okay, nah, man. I don't care if it's.
But see, the Falcons are a classy team. They wouldn't do that to the Saints. They don't care how bad the Saints disrespect them. They would not go out there and line them up to go score when the game is over.
Stop. Let me tell you something. I understand being classy, right? This is rivalry. This is Falcon Saints. Okay? This is Falcon Saints. Okay? That was so disrespectful They got to expect it coming. And I'm sorry. I've been a part of this rivalry for 40 years.
I would love for them to do something.
I'm going to be pissed if we don't do it. Yeah. Okay? I don't give a damn if it's 65-3. If it's the last play and we're on the 15-yard line, I'm sending somebody on a go. Defend it if you want. I'm not going to care. That needs to be answered. Now, that's just me. I don't speak for Raheem.
I agree. I just know the Falcons are like, oh, we're already winning. Let's just take a knee and go to the locker room. For me, Terry, this is what I've done on some of the games that I've played. I might be winning 42-7, 42-12, 13-14. I don't care what the score is, as long as I'm winning by a lot. And the time might be running out, John, and I'll piss the opponent off. The time's running out, and I'll just hit timeout with like 10 seconds left to go.
Oh, wow.
You're that guy.
Niggas feel like, what niggas call timeout for? I might get another sack or another pick, or it depends on what you're trying to do.
Wow.
And don't let it be like third down like I got 3 timeouts. I don't give a damn if it's 8 seconds left on the ball. I need that ball back for those 6 seconds. I need that ball back.
Damn.
So I'm one of those guys. So yes, I hope the Falcons do something this year to the Saints that reminds them of, remember that game last year? Remember that when we thought the game was over and you guys just wanted to give Jamal Williams a random touchdown for no apparent reason? Like, I don't understand. So maybe the Falcons do that. Maybe they don't. Terry, Falcons, Jags, Friday, before we wrap it up. What you looking for?
Like John said, no, I don't want to roll anybody off. I mean, hopefully Blair can get in. Look, man, and another reason to not play anybody, you got to understand, you got guys out here who have families, and football is their A, B, and C plan. And you are in that third game, brother, you will do anything to make that team. You don't want to be in there. All right. You do not want to be in that game because that's desperation, man. That's like, look, it's 4th down. I got no option. I got to make this team. Somebody's going to get hit. Somebody's going to eat one. I'm about to be on ESPN. That's the mindset that you're dealing with. And you probably got about 53 guys out there thinking that, or at least 32 or what have you.
Yep.
So, look, I don't want anybody to get hurt. Hopefully the what they need to see for guys to make the team happens. And I don't care if we win or lose. Let's just leave it healthy. Let's see what we need to see and move on. Those are my thoughts.
Eric Parker said, if it's the Saints, he's scoring and he's going for 2. He doesn't care how much time is left on the clock.
I love
it.
it.
Yeah,
brother. That's what I'm talking about. That's my brother, by the way. Those of you, that's my brother. That's my little brother.
Oh my gosh. Big shout out to
I am. And it's a family trait. And just so you know, we're petty. Absolutely right. Yep.
Man, let me tell y'all something. This has been great talking Falcons football with y'all in the chat. John, Kerry, Terry, here at One Time for the Fan, Out of Your Falcon Mind, third-party actions in the chat, Dre the Boxers in the chat, Clayton Murray's in the chat. So many Falcon fans that checked in with us tonight. We want to say thank you for joining us. Talked a little bit about Falcons Jaguars preview, who surprisingly could make the 53-man roster. I'm sure between now and Tuesday and the One Time for the Fan, we have a lot of shows coming up. John, what's your schedule going on between now and Tuesday? Are you going to be doing a live stream Tuesday night for the 53-man roster once that's released? Are you doing anything Friday for the game? Like, what you got going on?
Nothing for the game. We'll probably do something either Tuesday or Wednesday for the roster. Yeah, I mean, if I'll more than likely we'll just. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Unless there's something crazy that happens with the roster, we'll probably just stay. Wednesday at 7:00 next week. Yeah, who knows? But y'all can keep your eyes posted on the channel and on social media, and I'll definitely update it if we're going to go live earlier than that. And I don't think we'll do like a post game for the Jaguars. It's just not going to be a whole lot to talk. Hopefully, not a lot to talk about. Hopefully, it's just I want it to be just a boring ass. Get this over with game, man. That's all I want to see.
Hey, a couple 3 and outs, run the ball. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we're looking for about 60, 70 handoffs on Friday. So just make it easy.
Right. Make it the Jason Carlos show. I mean, whatever we gotta do. I mean, just get it over with. Yeah.
Game starts at 7, 8:30. Game's over. How the hell is this game over? An hour and a half. Quick ass half.
Exactly. Yeah. Heading into week 1, it'll be every Wednesday at 7, and then the post game or the recap show will either be Sundays after the game or maybe Mondays. It just depends on my kids got like 4 or 5 Sunday tournaments this fall. So, but it's good because like I said, being a pitcher, I know exactly what games he's going to be pitching in. So hopefully, we can get in, get out, watch the game, call it a day. So we're hoping for.
I know you're ready to hit that Ben's this season too. You got some games in mind you're going to?
Yeah, we're going to try to get to love to get to the Saints game, and we got some buddies coming in, the Bolt Bros podcast, who we've been on a few times last year for the
Chargers?
big obviously Chargers. Yeah,
are they San Diego Chargers or LA Chargers?
San Diego. Yeah.
Oh, San Diego, the
school.
San Diegans. Yes.
They're a cool group of guys. Honestly,
they are cool.
I'm
really
not
cool.
even a Chargers fan, and I watch their show sometimes.
They're funny.
San Diego folks are just chill. They just lay back. They're chill. They love their sports. They love the beach. They just love to just relax. Like, they're so cool.
And these three guys are like, they're brothers. They're legit brothers, but they're all different. And they're hilarious. But they're trying to make it here and bring in like a group with them from San Diego. They're all over the place, but a group of Chargers fans here. So we're trying to get there for that one, meet them up. So yeah, and I think Liam's baseball schedule's over early November, so I'll have the rest of the season after that to really,
for the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
You got to prepare for that January. I know fans are like, well, I can't make this game, but January 22nd is looking like playoffs. I might have to be prepared for that one. This is the season where I can say, hey, honey, do you have the playoff account ready? Because it looks like we might have to bring that back out this year. Right? Because it's getting to that point where Falcon fans, the turnaround is about to happen. Right? We saw it last year when we got over the hump being 2-0 early in the season. I was like, oh, shit, it's happening now? Wasn't ready. But this year, nah. Kirk Cousins. Yeah. John,
it's gonna feel different. It's gonna feel different this year. Last year, the 2-0 felt like a little bit of smoke and mirrors going on here, maybe. But if we happen to be 2-0 this year, it's gonna be legit.
Then the Detroit game popped up. It's like 6 sacks that game. Like, okay, we can fix the defensive line. We can fix everything, offensive line, everything before we go to London. Don't worry about it. Then we came back from London. I was like, what just happened?
I think we were in the same boat because Carrie knows. Like, I know she was watching both shows. Like, I was hanging on to Ritter as long as I possibly could. I'm like, no, he's gonna get it. And every week, like, I inched a little bit closer to the edge of the diving board. Right, like I'm just like, I don't know.
The diving board
every week.
What about Mike? Mike was like,
Mike was out early.
He was like a Heineke guy. I'm like, oh no.
Oh, he was wanting Heineke. So, and then, dude, I watched. It was so because like he's a big Taylor Heineke fan, right? So like he came in and I started watching film that week and like kind of doing like a little film review. I was like, dude, your boy's ass. Like I watched that film review, dude. Like that was worse. That was worse than what we just saw with Ritter. But it was dude. I mean, I held on as long as we could. Then the Carolina game happened at the end, and I was like, nah. I can't do it anymore.
Quarterback playing the A, Falcon fans. I'm glad we have good old Kirk Frost.
My brother and I got into this argument, Jeff. We got into the big. I remember you guys just reminded me of that. So because I can say this now. This is a safe space. Can I? It's a safe space.
Absolutely. Nobody's here. It's just us.
I felt like Ritter sucked from week 1, and I told my brother that. And my brother is the eternal optimist when it comes to the Falcons. We could have like a chipmunk playing, quarterback, and he'd be like, "Well, he's got an advantage. He's smaller than everybody. And he's going to get through the line." Like in his mind, he'll work out some sort. And I was like, "Eric, Ritter is ass. Let's go to Heineke. Let's go. And my brother's petty, right? Now, here's the thing. I really feel like Heineke is going through something with his vision. Because the tape from Washington versus here is totally different.
I was hoping we were going to get the Washington.
Absolutely.
There's got to be something different. I don't know if it's macular degeneration. I don't know what it is, but
Arthur Smith's offense.
Something's going on, right? So when we made the switch to Heineke, the week prior, he was like, "Well, I guess you're right. I guess we're going to go to Heineke." And I was like, "Yeah, see, it's going to be all right." Dude. It wasn't 4:01 after that game. I mean, it wasn't. It was like 4:00 and 3 seconds, and my brother was like, "Get your ass on the phone. Get on the phone." I'm a quote. This is not me. This is it. Look at him. He was like, "What the fuck did I tell you? The next time I tell you somebody's ass, their ass. You hear me?" And I'm like, "Who are you talking to?" He's like, "I'm talking to you, And I'm like, "Bruh. He's no worse than what we got." I guess he is. He's ass. He's been in the league longer. He should know better. We got into an argument. So you reminded me of that. But But yes, I agree. But I
That's why
didn't.
Falcon fans, when you go on the road too as well for some of these games, especially in the past with Mariota and Ritter, keep a Georgia Bulldog shirt with you. Keep a Brave shirt with you. You're gonna need it.
Oh no!
You're gonna
Is
need
that
it.
what you did
Especially,
after the Bucks game?
that's
No,
what
we
I
did
did.
win.
That's what I did leaving London. Like that was tough when I was getting ready to go back to Heathrow, and I was like, "No, I'm not doing this. Going through Heathrow." Put on that damn Atlanta Braves national championship shirt.
There you go.
I mean,
There it is.
MLB
Wow.
champions. But yeah, Falcon fans, this is great talking Falcon football with everybody. Chat is live. Chat is lit.
Penalty on Jack.
I mean, you know, we have fun here. Like we're not really bashing. I mean, some players probably said that stuff. Other fans, probably said, it wasn't me. Like I didn't bench him last season. I was not the coach.
No,
you know,
we tried to stay positive as long as we could, and it just,
Yeah.
you know, but your eyes, you have eyes, right? So you had to, like, we could just sit here and be like, no, it was fine, we're good, we're fine. You know, no, I mean, we'd just be lying to you at that point.
Yeah,
so,
there was a fan that used to pull up in the chat all the time. Kerry, you remember? Fans used to be like, "Oh, he's the starting quarterback." He's like, "He's not going to be the starting quarterback this year." No. They said it. Arthur said it. I said, "Man, I respect you as a fan and all, but you know, I think Ritter's time's out the door."
Yeah.
No. Trust me. They're not going to do nothing. If Kirk Cousins don't, as soon as they got Cousins, they got Penix. Oh no, Ritter's still going to be here. Then they traded Ritter. Well, I mean, you know,
look after
where are we at now? And he might get cut in Arizona. He might get cut. Get cut.
After he made that comment, hey, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the quarterback play. And no, Raheem was not taking a shot. He was being honest.
Yeah.
But after you make that comment, how do you go back to the locker room and be like, yeah, you're my third? You know what I mean? You can't do that. Come on, man. You can't do that. So
Raheem puts his Jordans on, slaps on the A hat, and then goes about his business. It's just business. Right, I saw it when Terry got here, and he was like Julio Jones, and he was like, I think they asked his family, like, "What's your favorite player on the Falcons?" Julio Jones. Then Julio Jones is gone. It's like, oh, okay. It's like sometimes it's business, man. It's business. But here we got some business to take care of too as well. My opponent in the, I guess we're playing with the Fiesta Bowl and NCAA. He's ready. So, you know, Ohio State versus Michigan. I might even stream this one in a minute. Terry, he got me the other day. I ain't gonna lie. He got me the other day. Beat me by 2 touchdowns. But now we're playing. We got to run it back again. Right?
Revenge Bowl.
It's the Revenge Bowl. So I got to change up the playbook, man. He's a YouTuber, so he's gonna be using a lot of the YouTube plays.
Hey, call time. If you beat him, Jack, call timeout with 10 seconds left. Okay.
I always do that. That's part of what Jack Spade does when he's playing the game. John,
when you do.
Shout outs for you over there out of your Falcon mind, man. You probably have a lot of fans, a lot of friends here in the chat too as well. So the platform is yours, man.
Hey man, yeah, just anybody that came through tonight from both either channel, man. Appreciate y'all watching us because, you know, like Jack always says, we just do this for the fans, and so we have fun doing it and talking about Falcons, and you know that's the only reason Mike and I started the channel is we talked about the Falcons all the time. So we're like, what the hell with it? Let's just stream it and see if people watch. And if they do, cool. If they don't, then we'll just stop and go back to talking about like we always did. So it's worked out pretty well so far, and we appreciate all you guys for tuning in, man. Thank you all for having me tonight. Looking forward to doing it again throughout this season because we're gonna have fun this season, guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I feel it. But yeah, I mean that's it, man. Shout out to Mike, my partner. He's gonna be back. He's in Nebraska right now, finishing up some work. Coming back soon. Yeah, that's it.
Big shout out to John from Out of Your Falcon Mind. Miss Carrie, one time for the family. Shout outs for tonight, ma'am.
Yes, I want to shout out all 3 of you guys, John, T. Will, Jack. I also want to shout out Mike. Sad that he couldn't be here, but I'm so excited for him to be back. You know, with one Out of Your Falcon Mind. And I want to shout out everybody in the chat. Everybody was talking a lot, you know, keeping up with the show tonight. And then I also quickly want to shout out Zach Robinson because I know this night we talked a lot about Raheem and how he's a leader of men, but also in that Up and Adams podcast, Bijan gave high praise for Zach Robinson and how he's such a great coach and a great leader. And I liked how he mentioned that he listens to his players, he's very open to any kind of like feedback.
Oh yeah.
And it kind of goes with that, you know, talk we had earlier about like the type of coach you are, you know, if you're like a positive reinforcement or, you know, tough love type of thing. I like that he mentioned that if you give him an idea, you bring him an idea as far as like, you know, a play you want to try or what have you. He's always open to any feedback, and Bijan literally said, like, if you give him an idea, something you want to try, he'll literally have it drawn up for you the next day for the next practice. So I thought that was really cool. So I want to shout out Zach Robinson as well. So,
Love it.
yeah.
Hey, big shout out to Kerry, and also big shout out to Kay Adams. But we got to blow the whistle 2 times on Kay Adams quickly. Kay Adams went to the Falcons practice, and then she left and went to the Saints practice. Why would you want to do such a thing?
That's tough.
Geography, I guess.
So we'll blow the whistle on Kay Adams for that. And then Kay Adams, you interviewed Bijan, and we know, you're definitely hip. We see you on social media. We see you on NFL Network. Kay Adams, you don't know what pause is when people do the pause? Like, when you make a certain joke, you got to know pause. Like, there's that No Diddy line. People do. I mean, I'm sure Bijan wanted to say No Diddy. I know he wanted to say No Diddy because that's going around the world. People say that, but you didn't see when people say pause all the time now. Like that's
But the example he gave was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
I was like, dude, is that what you're going to go with?
I know,
is that
this
what you're
is
going to go with?
For Bijan, to me, Bijan's so innocent in my eyes. I was like, whoa.
She put him on the spot. Give me an example. And Bijan like, oh,
he's like, oh, well, like, when you stick it in, I mean, stick it in. And it's like, damn, really?
No, it's like, I'm sorry. Don't find me.
It's like, damn, Bijan.
Bijan probably thinking, pitch the mustard. And this right here, Bijan Mustardson.
Well, Lisa said that she ended the practice tour in the toilet bowl because that's the location of the Super Bowl this year. So,
okay.
Well,
I guess she should have ended with the Falcons, so it ended on a high note, honestly.
Yeah, because her next picture she took was like, "Hey, NFL fans," and it's like you're out there outside the dump. It's like, why are you doing that? But big shout out to Kay Adams for coming by and showing some love to the Atlanta Falcons. Media has been crazy there. Daniel Flick was on with us, talking about how the media room looks with Raheem and everybody. Everybody's really buying into this, so it's great to see that players, fans, everybody really loves what the Falcons are doing. Terry, your shout out, sir.
First and foremost, I have a question for John. Yeah. John, I've watched your show. I love your show. You guys have had some wild takes with your camera. Some wild ones. I have one particular one that was hilarious. I'm going to ask you the wildest, most memorable moment that you've had on camera with your counterpart. Go.
Oh, my God.
This is gonna be a good one.
I don't even know. I mean,
I already thought of one, but
I wonder if it's the one I'm thinking about. But go ahead,
dude. I mean, it's like a weekly basis. Like this. I mean, it's
Mike has energy, man.
He does. It's like it's unmatched. I mean, like I can't. Like I was telling JR last week, it's like like coming on your guys' show and like having guest hosts and stuff like that. I love it because I mean, it's different, but I can't replace. Like if there was no Mike, like I wouldn't have a show. Like like there's like he's bringing something totally different that I can't bring and nobody else can bring. Man, I do. You have to tell me, T. Will, which one are you thinking of, man? Because I've got so many in my head.
So first and foremost, I'm gonna say that your counterpart should help clean my windows because he did it.
Sheesh.
And I want you to tell him that when you tell him that I really would appreciate if he would help me clean my windows because I spit out the red Faygo pop I had in my mouth all on my car windows. So this had to be maybe 4 months ago.
Wait, you drink Faygo?
That's not the point, Jack. Just roll with me.
I'm going to blow the whistle on that tomorrow. Friday morning, I'm blowing the whistle.
Oh my God. Whatever. Anyway, I'm drinking the Faygo pop. I'm in my car. I'm driving. I'm listening to you guys on the podcast. And he says, yeah, man, I mean, talk about things you do before the show. I just had sex before I hopped on here. And I was
my God.
Oh, my God. Everything I had came out. Everything. Like everything.
They could get you off guard if you listen to the show.
I was so not ready for that.
No, look, we got on, but like as we're getting on the show before the show, like he's literally like coming up, like throwing his shirt on, right? And like I was like, what the hell? I was like, you just get in from work? He's like, nah, man. Like the girl just left. I'm like, God damn, dude. It's like we're going on in like 1 minute. And
yeah, man, talk Falcons football. Let's go.
I've never
We're all
seen
grown
that.
here, Falcon fans.
I mean,
I've never seen that before.
Will, would you expect anything less? The man has a stripper pole in his living room.
Oh yeah.
And look, he went back and got it. When he moved apartments, he broke back into the old apartment and got it out.
Mike is
Like,
one of one.
He is one of one.
I'm telling you.
He is one of
Because we asked when he moved, I was like, "Are you gonna get that?" He's like, "I don't know how I'm gonna get it out, man." And then so like he showed up at the old apartment one day and he went to the front, like the office, and he was like, "Hey, is there anybody still living?" And they moved in yet? She was like, I don't know. They moved in, and he was like, "Okay, well, is there any way I can get up there?" She's like, "No, I can't let you do that." And he's like, "All right." So he left and then like snuck up there anyway, and like just knocked on the door, and it happened like it was open. So he just walked in there. There's nobody there, and he's like, "I got it down and got it out of there." I'm like, "Dude, like, okay." But yeah, man. I mean, that was a great one, Will. Yeah, that one's up there. Yeah.
Oh man, big shout out to Mike, man. We can't wait till he gets back here so we can talk some more Falcons football with him too as well. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to once again every single content creator that's out here doing the best they can for this Falcons community. It takes a lot when you got to turn on the microphone and get the camera set up and take some time away from your day to come talk Falcons football with everybody else. But that's what we love doing this. We love talking with you all. I know it was supposed to be like an hour and some change. We went like an hour and 45 minutes or so. So apologies to anybody who missed their late night workout or they were supposed to be doing something. Jamal D gets into the chat. I'm sure Jamal's like, okay, bet another hour of Falcons football. Jamal, we're about to go ahead and wrap this up. Friday morning, we're back talking Falcons football. Senior Executive Chef Matt from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So pretty much all that food, the food pricing, everything. Chef Matt is a big part of that. He just had his mop sauce video that he put out earlier this year with the lady with the mop sauce in the kitchen with the carried the one that went viral. I think it hit over 10 million views the other day.
Wow.
So he's super excited about this. So a lot of people has been, hitting him up about his chef skills and about chef, information about what to do here, about cooking and XYZ. So our show, oh man, the Braves just lost.
Damn it.
Our show, we do a lot here with One Time for the Fans. So we're going to introduce this Chef's Corner coming up this season. Chef Matt is going to be a big part of helping with that. So it's going to be another little segment that we have here for Falcon fans. So if you can't make it to those away games this year, if you can't make it to Philly, but you're trying to whip up something in the kitchen to go with your meal that day for that Monday night game or maybe the Carolina game, Chef Matt's going to come in here and prepare something that's that has to do with the culture of the city that we're playing against. So if it's New Orleans, he gonna give you probably a gumbo dish or a jambalaya dish or something of a seafood style dish. Of course, Philly's known for Philly cheesesteaks and that type of thing. But Chef Matt, man, he can whip up anything. He can look in your pantry and say, use that. Let me show you how to make a 4-course meal. So big shout out to Chef Matt, who's going to be here on the show Friday morning from the stadium. So Falcon fans are going to be at the Benz Friday night. You get a chance to see the stadium early in the morning, right here on Breakfast with One Time for the Fan. Big shout out to John from Out of Your Falcon Mind. John, I think I told you like it was going to be a 20-minute conversation. I apologize. We usually do this.
I already knew that was coming. We're the same way. We'll be like, hey, we're gonna be here an hour tonight, and then 2 hours in, we're like, shit, we gotta go. All right.
Hey, man, just as long as it's not Scott Caristic sometimes. It's like, Scott, it's like 4 hours, Scott. You want to talk about that coach? Nah, Scott's a big friend of ours, too.
Scott gets it in, man. Scott
talks football, man. He just talks football. He wants to talk about the cleats. He wants to talk about the Freddie the Falcon. He wants to talk about the broken seat in 136 row 3. Like, hey, you guys see that broken seat in 136 row 3? Let me tell you how they can fix this. Like, Scott is a real cool guy, right?
Scott's fences, sir. Okay, he's trying to hit a home run every time. All right.
Yeah,
can we real quick shout out Big Low in the chat? He literally was just live with
Heather in the world, Bo.
NFC South Roundtable and came straight to the show. So
I mean, should we put him in the detox tank for you? Was talking to Saints fans over there, but what's going on over there? I'm sure that chat was a lot of symbols with the Woda and the Hoodas and what's going on over there, country? Nah, big shot.
In the decompression chamber.
Country saw a 31-33. Oh, John. Country saw a 33-yard putt the other day. Sinker. Bam.
Ooh.
On some rough greens too as well, like a damn dog track. Rained the night before.
Mm-hmm.
But man, 31 yards from the top of the rough in the greens, man, on an angle too as well. And we got paired with a guy who's a +9, +10 golfer. So he's close to being a scratch golfer, but this guy's pretty decent. He's also played in TPC amateur leagues too as well. And he's a Falcon fan, but he also has some other friends that played at Louisville and Auburn. So we got a chance to mingle with him for a minute. But 31 yards top of the green on some rough dog tracks. Man, I'm talking about smooth. I just didn't record it. I just didn't record it. But almost pulled my hamstring throwing the club and running around the green. So that kind of
we got to get a creator meet up at Top Golf, man. That'd be fun as hell.
Hey, if it's not Top Golf, we can do it right there at the driving range or on the greens. We can set up a 9, John. I saw you swing. You're probably driving like what, 310, 330 or so around there.
I mean, that was a Top Golf, and I don't know the distance, but it said it was 152 miles an hour. So I'll take
you're talking about practice ball, practice club too as well. So if you're probably out there with a Maverick or an AI smoke, you'll destroy that ball. But definitely we'll be having some more conversations, Falcons football on the golf course and away from the golf course too as well, because that's something cool to do in our spare time. So big shout out to Country, big shout out to Lisa Shepard, Jamal D. Thank you all for being a part of this show tonight. The upcoming events part, we'll talk about that Friday morning. So much going on right now. We want to make sure fans can get up out of here and go enjoy their night. John, T. Will, Bodie, Carrie, thank you all for being here tonight. Rise up, y'all.
Night, everyone.